Okay, students, we've got to do things a little bit differently. So motion graphs is what we're studying. Describing the motion of an object is occasionally hard to do with words. Sometimes graphs help make motion easier to picture and therefore understand. So please remember, you guys, motion is a change in position measured by distance and time. Speed tells us the rate at which an object moves. Velocity tells the speed and direction of a moving object. And acceleration tells us the rate, speed, or direction changes. So I've given you some examples of graphs because we're doing this a little bit differently, and I'm holding my phone recording this. I've already filled in the words for you. So time is always plotted on the x-axis, which is the bottom of the graph, and the further to the right on the axis, the longer time from the start. Distance is plotted on the y-axis, side of the graph, which is the side of the graph. You guys know that. And the higher up the graph, the further from the start. Okay? So if an object is not moving, a horizontal line is shown on a distance time graph. That's important to know. So time is increasing to the right, but its distance does not change. It is not moving. We say it is at rest. So if an object is moving at a constant speed, it means it has the same increase in distance in a given time. So time is increasing to the right, and distance is increasing constantly with time. The object moves at a constant speed. So constant speed is shown by straight lines on a graph. Okay, so if you need to pause and get any of those words written down, pause right now. And I'm going to turn the page to the next part. Okay, so it says, let's look at two moving objects. Both lines in the graph show that each object moved the same distance, but the steeper dashed line got there before the other one. A steeper line indicates a larger distance moved in a given time. In other words, higher speed or faster speed, whichever one you like. Both lines are straight, so both speeds are constant. Graphs that show acceleration look different from those that show constant speed. The line on this graph is curving upwards. This shows an increase in speed since the line is getting steeper. So you can see it's curved. We're starting slow, but then we're getting faster and faster. So in other words, in a given time, the distance the object moves is change or getting larger, so it says it's accelerating. So I've given you a summary that says a distance time graph tells us how far an object has moved with time. The steeper the graph, the faster the motion. So right here you can see this is a very steep graph, so it's moving fast. A horizontal line, which you can see right here, says stationary, means the object is not changing its position. It is not moving. It is at rest. And then a downward sloping line on a distance time graph means that the object is returning to the start. So we're going to do some practice problems, again, because this is different. We've gone through it. So you can see that graph A was increasing at a steady rate. We just barely talked about that, an increasing line, okay, is a constant speed. Okay, when we just talked about this just barely, when it's decreasing, it means you are returning home, okay, or coming back to that starting point. On C, on a distance time graph, if it's a horizontal line, it means that you are stopped or at rest, okay, and then this one, when it's curving upward, it's the opposite of accelerating, so you are decelerating or slowing down. Okay, so if you didn't need to write any of that down, push pause right now and finish copying down those words. And I will get the next one ready so we don't have to make this video super long. Okay, so the other ones that we're studying are speed time graphs. Speed time graphs are also called velocity time graphs. So this is different. You'll notice that there's also a horizontal line, but it means something different. Okay, a straight horizontal line on a speed time graph means that the speed is constant. So it is not changing over time. Okay, in this one it says a straight line does not mean that the object is not moving. Remember, that's a distance time graph. So this one, if it's increasing from left to right, then it's an accelerating, okay, and it's a straight line, it's increasing. And then if it's a straight line but it's decreasing from left to right, then it is decelerating or slowing down, okay? So again, push pause if you need to, get those words copied down. So the next one says, what about comparing two moving objects at the same time? Well, you can see, you guys, that both the dashed and solid lines show increasing speed, right? And they're constant because they are straight. And both lines reach the same top speed, but the solid line takes longer because if you think about two cars at a stoplight, this one shot off the line faster after it turned green, and this one just gradually increased its speed, okay? So the dashed line shows a greater acceleration. So again, we have a summary that says a speed time graph shows us how the speed of a moving object changes with time. So the steeper the graph, the greater the acceleration. So you can see right here, they were accelerating pretty quickly, but over here was more of a gradual acceleration. Okay, and the horizontal line means that they were just traveling at a steady speed, right? So they got on the road and they just were able to cruise at 40 miles per hour, or maybe they're on the freeway going 80 miles per hour, and they're just going right along. And then the downward sloping line means that it's slowing down, okay? So again, I've given you some practice ones. So if you look at graph E, we know that we are accelerating, okay? So that one was number 7, and it's an increasing straight line. When it's decreasing or going downhill from left to right, then it's decelerating or slowing down, okay? When it's a horizontal line, that means it's a constant speed. Okay, your speed's not going up and down on your speedometer, it's just staying where it's at. And then right here you can see it's a line at the very bottom at 0, and that would indicate that you are stopped. Okay, because you're not moving, your speed is at 0, so you obviously are not moving. All right, so again, pause this video, finish copying down the lines, and then we'll look at a couple on your assignment.